Okay, so I apologize for the highway noise. I'm at the storage site right next to the highway. So one of the things, the last 2 times we set this up, we're getting some loud pops on the lifter system. Seem to work okay. Best I can tell from reviewing the internet is that's maybe the push springs that come up through tubes and push up on the ceiling are maybe catching up in the tube that they're in, and they need oil. Well, also, at least once a year, if not twice a year, you're supposed to grease the lift system underneath. There's 2 zerk fittings, and let me tell you, I got certain sets of skills. Mechanical do-it-yourself ain't one of them. Long time ago, my very first house was a plaster and lath walls. I decided to drywall one of the rooms. 2 years later, I was selling it. Nice young man that worked construction came in to look at it, and he walked in the one room that I drywalled, looked around, and he said, "Oh, you drywalled this yourself, did you?" Lesson learned. So for me, all this stuff is an adventure. Very, very exciting though. I got my first grease gun, so let's do this. All right, I'm going in. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, you know what to do. Give me another 5 minutes. All right, so I got my Southwestern Ohio Mechanics slider right there, and I'm going to go in, and if I can show you the zerks, I'll show you. This is a Goshen 2660 lift system on this model. I think that's what most Forest River uses on any pop-up right now, and Goshen Stamping is the website. They do have a diagram on there. It's not a whole lot of help though. So let's go find this out. So this is your main assembly tube. The cables are up in here, and this is a zerk. This is near the front and it's on the bottom, and supposedly there's one on the top back in the rear. So I'm thinking you take your little connection hose here, where is it? Right there, and you hook it on and you pump grease till you see grease basically. Right, so this is the back end of that main tube. The white thing is the water tank, and you can see there is some grease protruding from that. So it's not dry or anything, but the other little zerk is right on top up in here. So I'm going to hook that up and do that one. So that is the zerk fitting with a little bit of grease on it. That when the grease starts backflowing out, you know you're full. I'm not sure what the mechanics are in there. And here's the end of the tube with the spring tubes, cable tubes. So you can see that there's some grease right there. So that wasn't really bad at all. Big adventure with the grease gun for the first time. And there is one down at the other end on the top that was pretty easy to get to also. This is just like a little nipple. You just push your grease gun attachment on there till it connects, and I think there's only one size of those things, so that was pretty straightforward. Alright, so now I am at the front off door side, and this is the spring tube with the springs in it, and it goes up in here, and then the lifter post would be right there. So what I've read is you're supposed to, the old versions had a little oil hole here, or a space, and this of course doesn't. So there's just two nuts. There's 3/8 inch nuts that you access from the outside right there, and I'm going to try taking those out, and I got a little oil can and some 30 weight oil to put down to lubricate the springs, and if this works well, I'll do that on all 4 sides. So those are the 2 nuts that had to come out. They came out easy, and let me show you underneath here. Hopefully you can see this. So I got that's the end of the nut. I got that out, both of them, and I did get this to drop down a little bit, but this tube goes on up and through the floor. So wherever I read it about dropping that tube a little bit to put oil in there, that does not apply in this case. Fortunately, the lifter posts, that raise up the camper, I did dry lube those, so hopefully we'll be okay, and I'll go back and search if there's something else I'm supposed to do. And there's one more spot you're supposed to lubricate, and that's the power winch. And I'll show you that. Okay, so I'm under the tongue of the trailer, and here's the bottom of the winch, and there's 4 bolts on the outside that the directions I found for this system says to drop that and just spray like WD-40 on the spool. Well, there's the spool. There's this nice little opening, so I just sprayed right through there. And that's pretty much it for the lift system that you can do on your own. And we'll see if it makes any difference for the noise, but if nothing else, I feel better that we at least got it done. So please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and happy camping.